Hello everyone, I hope you're staying healthy and safe at home, and I hope you're ready to learn more mathematics. Here are some things to consider. I've been told that I have to finish the online course by April 17th, and I should have a final exam between April 20th to April 24th. And under the SUNY rule, I have to cover every topic that I usually cover in a regular semester, although some topics may be covered lightly. Now, proctoring exams online is a challenge, so I cannot have the exam 3 and 4. I will only have one exam, which is the final exam. And another thing you have to know is because we are transitioning to online, you have to learn how to maneuver through the blackboard, and you have to learn this new format. That's why I am making this video. Here are the changes in the grading scheme. You've already taken exam 1 and 2, and this will count as 30% just as the syllabus says. But after that, since we are changing on to online, and because I'm removing exam 3 and 4, the other portion has to go somewhere. So here's what I'm going to do. There's the classwork, 10%, which is graded on effort. And then there's the online homework, which is web work, which you have been doing already. And the online homework, as you know, will only be given grades if you do the correct work. Any kind of inaccuracy, you won't be given full credit. Now, the reason I have a classwork that's separate from the web work is because I need to track that everyone is learning what they're supposed to learn, and by seeing your classwork, I can see if you have learned it or not. So this is just like how I do the class. When I run the class, I put a question on the board and I walk around and asking people if they know how to do it, right? So this somewhat mimics that, except that now you get grades for it. So it's better because trying to get 100 on an exam would be really hard, but trying to get classwork and maybe that 5% discussion forum, a lot of you will be getting a full 100 for that, so that will help your scores a lot. Now I'm planning to have 3 quizzes, and starting this coming Thursday, and all the quizzes will be proctored through a webcam. And let me explain how this is going to work. So first, you need to have a webcam that's pointing to you, and so I can see that you're not cheating. So you're not looking at your notes, you're not looking at textbook or some other digital resources. I have to see that you're working. On the other hand, when you're done with your work, you have to take a picture of your work and you have to send it to me. So I need you to have both a webcam and a cell phone to take cameras. I do know that you can use your camera as a webcam, but I don't want you to do that because when you're taking the picture of your work, I still need to see it through the webcam. So I don't want you to be changing the webcam's location. So that's why I had this Google Forms survey, and I've identified a few people who did not have a webcam, so I've been contacting them, and most of you decide to buy a webcam or borrow a laptop computer from your parents or someone else so that you can have this setting. And hopefully everyone won't have any problem with doing this, and by doing so I can make sure that these quizzes are done as honest as possible, right? Okay, there will be a discussion forum, 5%, which is just some post about questions on the homework. It could be on the classwork or the web work, and you can also answer other people's questions. So these are some things that you can do. to get grades. Most of you will get 5% because it's easy. And the final exam, it was supposed to be 30%. Now it's raised slightly to 35%. Some important facts. Classwork should be submitted through Blackboard as JPG files or PDF. So they're using your cell phone. I want you to take a picture and upload it through Blackboard. I've seen some apps where if you take pictures, you can make it into a single PDF file and upload. That's fine too. Do not email your classwork because the classwork is formatted in the Blackboard as a homework submission, and you have to click on upload a file. And if you don't do that, and if you email me, there's no way for me to give you a grade because I have set everything up so that I give grades through the Blackboard. So if you do not submit classwork through the Blackboard and just email me, you're not going to get any grade for it. Okay. On the other hand, quizzes and exams, as I explained, you have to take a photo of your work and email me your work. And the email address is dan@sunymaritime.edu. I know most phones have this way to take a picture and share, and if you share, you can email it, and make sure you're emailing it to this email address. Okay. Now, for forum discussion, you need to have 4 more postings on the homework help board. There'll be two boards. One is the homework help board, and the other is the introduce yourself board. Introduce yourself board is to make sure that everyone is on board and you know how to write posts on the forum, and that's due on the first day, on Monday 23rd. Okay, but otherwise you have to write postings on the homework help board, and there you need to have 4 more postings. And then the final exam online proctoring will have extra measures, which is a little different from your usual in-class exams. So here are the 2 measures I'm going to implement. First is that the exam will be divided into 4 parts, and you will only be allowed to leave your work area during breaks in between. Now, in the usual exam, in-class exams, I've been giving final exam as 2 parts, and part 1 contained questions where you do without calculators, and part 2 you are allowed to use a calculator. And what I'm doing is now part 1 and part 2 will be divided even further into 2 parts, so that you're only allowed to leave your work area during breaks in between. The downside of this is that once you submit that part, you will not be allowed to go back, which is a little bit of disadvantage for most of you. But if you think about the fact that I will be covering some of the challenging parts of Calc 1 less in depth, and because of that some easier questions on that part will be on the final exam, you'll be facing slightly easier final exam compared to other semesters. So those 2 should probably balance out. Now, the second measure that I'm going to implement is a day or 2 after the final exam, I will be performing individual interview and ask you to solve randomly selected similar problems from the exam. You'll be asked to explain how you solved it. So how it works is you will connect with me through Zoom, and I'll be pointing out one question which you solved very well, and I'll ask you to solve a similar question with just some numbers changed, and I'll be looking at how you solved it. The reason I do this is because there are many apps and websites these days that not only solve the math problem for you, but also it gives you the work needed for it. So it's become a little challenging to make sure whether it's your work or not. So I have to make sure the integrity of the exam is maintained, and to do that, I'm trying to do this interview. Now, those who received below 80 out of 100 will be exempt from this, because I don't have the time to interview everybody. But if you got 80 or above, I will be contacting you and doing this interview just to make sure that it's your genuine work, so that I'll be comfortable in giving you the score that you really deserve. Those are the most important things that I want to say in this video. After this video, you will have to watch the other video where I explain how to put images into the post and write a sample equation using Virus. These two things are very important for you to efficiently communicate in the discussion board. What I want you to be able to do is say that you have some trouble with the web work question. What you want to do is take a snippet of, take a screenshot of your question, and I want you to put that image into the post, not as an attachment. If you put it as an attachment in the Blackboard, then and other people will have to click it, and they'll open up and pop up as a separate window, and they have to see it, close it, and then go back to the post to see what you're trying to say. And all this process is very annoying, and it really doesn't lead to efficient communication. So what I want you to be able to do is to be able to put images into the post, not as an attachment. Another thing that you have to learn is how to write simple equations using the equation editor. And that's also needed because sometimes you want to explain to other people what you were trying to attempt. And sometimes you want to help other people to say, hey, you should do this and this. And to do that efficiently, you also have to know how to write equations. Alright, so welcome back, and I hope to see you in the discussion board and through the videos.